Listen, if you've got silver coins sitting in a drawer somewhere, in an old collection, or tucked away in a safe deposit box, you need to stop what you're doing right now and check something. Because there's a specific detail on those coins that could mean the difference between having a few dollars worth of silver and having a small fortune. I'm talking about mint marks. Those tiny letters stamped on your coins that most people never even notice. And right now, certain mint marks are causing specific silver coins to absolutely explode in value. We're not talking about a modest increase here. We're talking about coins that were worth a few $100s just months ago now selling for thousands. In some cases, tens of thousands. And here's what makes this urgent. The market for these specific coins is heating up fast. Collectors and investors are waking up to what's happening, and when they do, the window closes. So let me walk you through exactly what you need to look for, why these particular coins are spiking, and what you should do if you find one. First, let's talk about what a mint mark actually is, because this is crucial. A mint mark is a small letter stamped on a coin that tells you which U.S. mint facility produced it. You've got P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and here's the big one, CC for Carson City, Nevada. That Carson City mint only operated from 1870 to 1893, which automatically makes anything with a CC mint mark rare. But it's not just about rarity. It's about the story, the history, and the perfect storm of factors that's driving values through the roof right now. Let me give you a specific example. The 1893 S Morgan silver dollar. That S mint mark means it was made in San Francisco. Only 100,000 of these coins were ever minted. Compare that to the millions of Morgan dollars produced at other mints in other years, and you start to see why this matters. But here's where it gets interesting. In average circulated condition, an 1893 S Morgan dollar is worth around $3,000 to $5,000 right now. In uncirculated condition, we're talking $100,000 or more, and those values have been climbing steadily. But the Morgan dollar isn't the only one. Let's talk about the 1916 D Mercury dime. That little D on the coin means it was minted in Denver, and in that first year of production, Denver only made 264,000 of them. It's the key date in the entire Mercury dime series. Right now, even in worn, circulated condition, a 1916 D Mercury dime is worth $850 to $1,200. In better condition, we're looking at $12,000 or more. And here's the thing. Most people have no idea. They see a dime from 1916 and think it's just an old dime worth maybe $1 or $2 in silver content. They don't flip it over to check for that D mint mark. Now, why are these values spiking right now? There are several factors converging all at once, and understanding this helps you see where this is headed. First, silver itself is in a bull market. The industrial demand for silver is absolutely exploding. We're talking about solar panels, electric vehicles, 5G infrastructure, medical applications. Silver is the most conductive metal on Earth, and as we electrify everything, we need more of it. But here's the problem. We're not mining enough new silver to keep up with demand. The deficit between what we're producing and what we're consuming is growing every year. That puts upward pressure on silver prices across the board. But numismatic silver coins, coins with collector value, they're in a different category entirely. They're not just silver. They're pieces of American history with limited populations that can never increase. When the 1893 S Morgan dollar was minted, 100,000 were made. That's it. Forever. And over the last 130 years, how many have been lost, melted down, damaged, or destroyed? The actual surviving population is much smaller. And as more collectors enter the market, they're all competing for the same finite supply. Here's where it gets really interesting. We're seeing a generational wealth transfer happening right now. Baby boomers who've been collecting coins for decades are starting to liquidate their collections. Some are downsizing, some are passing away, and their collections are hitting the market. At the same time, you've got younger investors who grew up with Pokemon cards and NFTs, and they understand scarcity. They understand collectibles. And they're looking at rare coins as tangible assets with real history and proven track records. When a 1916 D Mercury dime has gone from $500 to $2,200 in just a few years, that catches attention. Then there's the institutional money. Rare coin funds, investment groups, they're buying up key date coins in bulk. They understand that these are hard assets with no counterparty risk. You can't print more 1893 S Morgan dollars. You can't inflate the supply. And in a world where governments are printing currency at unprecedented rates, that matters. Let me tell you about Carson City mint marks specifically, because this is where things get really exciting. The Carson City Mint was established in 1870 to process silver from the nearby Comstock lode, one of the richest silver deposits ever discovered. It was a small mint, and it only operated for 23 years. Everything that came out of Carson City has that CC mint mark, and collectors go absolutely crazy for it. Take the 1889 CC Morgan dollar, only 350,000 were minted. But here's the story behind it. By 1889, the Comstock lode was playing out. The glory days of Virginia City were ending. The Carson City Mint was struggling. And just 4 years later, it would close forever. So these coins represent the twilight of the Old West, the end of an era. And collectors pay premium prices for that story. An 1889 CC Morgan in decent condition? You're looking at $1,500 to $3,000. In pristine, uncirculated condition? Over $100,000. But it's not just Morgan dollars. The Carson City Mint also produced seated Liberty coins, trade dollars, and other denominations. And anything with that CC Mint mark commands a premium. An 1876 CC 20-cent piece, only 10,000 were minted, and it's one of the rarest coins in American numismatics. Values start at $2,000 and go up from there depending on condition. Now, here's what you need to do if you have silver coins. And I mean this literally. Go do this today. Get your coins out and start checking mint marks. Here's where to look. On Morgan silver dollars, minted from 1878 to 1904 and again in 1921, the mint mark is on the reverse, the back of the coin, right below the eagle, above the dew in dollar. You're looking for a small letter. No letter means it was made in Philadelphia. O means New Orleans. S means San Francisco. D means Denver. And CC means Carson City. If you see that CC, stop everything and get that coin professionally graded. On Mercury dimes minted from 1916 to 1945, the mint mark is on the reverse. On the left side, next to the bottom of the fasces, that bundle of sticks. Again, no letter means Philadelphia. D means Denver. S means San Francisco. And if you've got a 1916 D, you've just found a coin worth at least $850, probably much more. On piece silver dollars, minted from 1921 to 1935, the mint mark is on the reverse, below the word 1 at the bottom. Same letters apply. And certain dates with certain mint marks are extremely valuable. A 1928 piece dollar with no mint mark? Only 360,000 were made, and it's worth $400 to $500 in average condition. In uncirculated condition, over $100,000. Here's what most people don't realize. Condition is everything in the coin world. A coin in good condition, which actually means pretty worn, might be worth $50. That same coin in mint state, meaning uncirculated, never spent, could be worth $5,000 or $50,000. The difference is dramatic. And this is where professional grading comes in. If you find a key date coin with a valuable mint mark, you want to get it graded by either PCGS or NGC. These are the two major professional coin grading services. They'll authenticate your coin, grade its condition on a 70-point scale, and seal it in a protective holder with a label showing the grade. And here's why this matters. A raw, ungraded 1893S Morgan dollar might sell for $3,000. That same coin, graded and certified as MS63, might sell for $15,000. The grading fee is usually $30 to $50. It's worth it. But let's talk about something else that's driving this market right now. Inflation. Real inflation. The kind you feel at the grocery store, at the gas pump, in your rent or mortgage payment. People are looking for ways to preserve wealth, to protect what they've worked for. And they're realizing that paper assets, stocks, bonds, even cash in the bank, they're all subject to the whims of central banks and government policy. Quick aside here, because this is relevant. If you're sitting on $100,000 or more in retirement accounts, traditional IRAs or 401ks, there's a way to move some of that into physical precious metals without tax penalties. It's called a gold IRA, and I put together a free guide that explains exactly how it works. It's in the description below. Covers the process, the rules, the benefits. Worth checking out if you're thinking about diversifying your retirement savings into hard assets. No pressure, just information if it's relevant to your situation. Anyway, back to these silver coins and why the timing matters right now. We're at an inflection point in the precious metals market. Silver has been consolidating for months, building energy, and the technical indicators are showing a potential breakout. When silver moves, numismatic silver coins move with it, but they move harder and faster because of the collector premium on top of the metal value. And here's something else. The US Mint isn't making these classic designs anymore. Morgan dollars, Mercury dimes, these are pieces of Americana. They represent a time when coins were made of real silver, when craftsmanship mattered, when each coin was a little work of art. Modern coins? They're copper nickel clad, they're mass-produced, they don't have the same appeal. So the old silver coins, especially the rare dates with key mint marks, they're becoming more desirable every year. Let me give you another example. The 1921 peace dollar. This was the first year of the peace dollar series, designed to commemorate the end of World War I. The relief on these coins was so high that the dies kept breaking, and they had to redesign it the next year with lower relief. So the 1921 peace dollar is unique in the series, and right now, in uncirculated condition, it's worth $300 to $500. But here's the thing. Only a few years ago, you could buy one for $150 to $200. The value has more than doubled. And as more people learn about this, as more collectors want one for their sets, the price keeps climbing. Or take the 1932 D Washington Quarter. First year of the Washington Quarter series, Denver Mint. Only 436,800 were made. In worn condition, it's worth $150 to $200. In uncirculated condition, over $10,000, and most people have no idea. They see a quarter from 1932 and think it's just an old quarter. Here's what's happening in the market right now. Auction houses are reporting record prices for key date silver coins. Heritage auctions, Stack's Bowers, great collections. They're seeing intense bidding wars for coins that would have sold for half the price just a year or two ago. And it's not just the ultra-rare coins, it's the semi-key dates, the coins that are scarce but not impossible to find. Those are moving up fast because they're more affordable entry points for new collectors. And speaking of new collectors, the demographic is changing. It used to be that coin collecting was dominated by older men, retirees with time and money to spend on their hobby. But now you're seeing younger people getting into it. They're doing their research online. They're buying and selling on platforms like eBay and Reddit, and they're driving up prices for coins that were undervalued for years. There's also a psychological factor at play. When people see a coin sell for a record price at auction, it validates the entire category. It creates FOMO, fear of missing out. Suddenly, everyone wants to check their old coins. Everyone wants to find that hidden treasure, and when demand increases but supply stays fixed, prices go up. It's basic economics. Now let's talk about what you should not do if you find a valuable coin. Do not clean it. I cannot stress this enough. Cleaning a coin destroys its value. Collectors want coins in their original natural state. Even if a coin looks dirty or tarnished, that's called toning, and it's actually desirable. A cleaned coin, even if it looks shiny and new, will be worth a fraction of what an uncleaned coin in the same grade would be worth. So if you find a coin with a key mint mark, leave it exactly as it is. Don't touch it with your bare fingers if you can help it. Handle it by the edges. Put it in a protective holder and get it to a professional grader. Also, don't assume that just because a coin is old, it's valuable. Age alone doesn't determine value. It's the combination of age, rarity, condition, and demand. A common date Morgan dollar from 1921, even in nice condition, might only be worth $30 to $40. But a rare date like the 1893S, that's a different story entirely. So you need to know what you're looking for. Here are the key dates and mint marks you want to watch for in silver coins. Write these down. Morgan dollars, 1893S, 1889 CC, 1892S, 1895, proof only, extremely rare, 1901, 1903S. Any Carson City Morgan dollar is valuable, but especially the 1889 CC, 1879 CC, and 1893 CC. Peace dollars, 1928, 1934S, 1921 high relief. These are the keys to the series. Mercury dimes 1916D is the king. But also watch for 1921, 1921D, 1942 P1 overdate varieties. These are worth serious money. Walking Liberty, half dollars, 1921, 1921D, 1921S, 1938D. The 1921 issues are extremely rare because very few were minted. Standing Liberty Quarters, 1916, 1918 7S overdate, 1923S. The 1916 is the key date with only 52,000 minted. If you find any of these, you need to get them appraised, and I mean by a professional, not by the guy at the local pawn shop who will offer you melt value. Find a reputable coin dealer. preferably one who's a member of the Professional Numismatists Guild, or send it directly to PCGS or NGC for grading. Now, here's something else to consider. The market for rare coins is global. You've got collectors in Europe, Asia, the Middle East, all competing for the same American coins. And as wealth increases in these regions, as more people have disposable income to spend on collectibles, the demand for key-date U.S. silver coins keeps growing. This is a worldwide market, and it's expanding. There's also the factor of preservation. Every year, coins are lost, damaged, or destroyed. House fires, floods, accidents, people who don't know what they have, and spend rare coins at face value. The surviving population of any given coin is always decreasing, never increasing. And as the population decreases, the value of the remaining coins goes up. Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, a man in California was going through his late father's belongings. He found a box of old coins in the garage. Most of them were common dates, worth maybe $20 to $30 each for the silver content. But buried in the box was an 1895 Morgan dollar. Now, the 1895 Morgan is one of the rarest coins in American numismatics. It was only made in proof format for collectors, and only 880 were minted. This man had no idea what he had. He took the box to a coin shop, and the dealer nearly fell out of his chair when he saw the 1895. Long story short, that coin sold at auction for $120,000. One coin, in a box of otherwise common coins, worth more than most people make in 2 years. That's an extreme example, but it illustrates the point. You don't know what you have until you check. And right now, with values spiking, it's more important than ever to go through any old coins you might have. Here's another angle to consider: estate sales and auctions. If you're in the market to buy rare coins, not just check what you already have. Estate sales can be gold mines. When someone passes away and their family is liquidating the estate, they often don't know the value of the coin collection. They just want to clear out the house. I've heard stories of people buying entire coin collections at estate sales for a few $100s, only to find key date coins worth thousands inside. It happens more often than you'd think. But you have to know what you're looking for. You have to be able to spot those mint marks, recognize the key dates, and act fast. Because once word gets out that there's a coin collection at an estate sale, the serious collectors and dealers show up, and the competition gets fierce. Now let's talk about the future. Where is this market headed? Based on everything I'm seeing, the trend is up. Silver prices are in a long-term bull market. Collector demand is increasing. The supply of rare coins is fixed and decreasing. And more people are waking up to the idea that tangible assets, things you can hold in your hand, have value in an uncertain world. Central banks around the world are buying gold and silver at record rates. They're diversifying away from the dollar, building reserves of hard assets, and when central banks do something, it's usually a signal that regular people should pay attention. If the institutions that control monetary policy are stockpiling precious metals, what does that tell you about their confidence in paper currency? And here's the thing about rare coins specifically. They're not just silver. They're not just collectibles. They're a hybrid asset. You've got the intrinsic value of the silver content, which provides a floor. You've got the numismatic value, the collector premium, which provides upside. And you've got the historical and cultural value, which makes them interesting and desirable beyond just the money. A 1893 Morgan dollar isn't just worth $5,000 because it's rare. It's worth $5,000 because it represents a specific moment in American history. It was minted in San Francisco during the height of the silver rush. It passed through the hands of people who lived in a completely different world. It survived the Great Depression, 2 world wars, the digital revolution. It's a tangible connection to the past, and that has value that goes beyond just the metal or the rarity. So here's what I want you to do. Today, not tomorrow, not next week. Go find any silver coins you have. Check the mint marks. Look up the key dates I mentioned. If you find something valuable, protect it and get it appraised. If you don't have any coins but you're interested in starting a collection, start researching. Learn about the different series, the key dates, the grading standards. Knowledge is power in this market. And remember, the window doesn't stay open forever. Right now, we're in a moment where values are rising, but the general public hasn't fully caught on yet. The serious collectors know. The dealers know. But the average person who inherited Grandpa's coin collection? They might not know. And that creates opportunities. Whether you're checking coins you already have or looking to buy, the key is education. Understand what makes a coin valuable. Understand the grading system. Understand the market dynamics. And most importantly, understand that these are real assets with real value, not just old pieces of metal. The silver coin market is heating up. Mint marks matter more than ever. And if you've got coins sitting around, you owe it to yourself to check them. Because that little letter stamped on the coin, that tiny detail most people never notice, could be worth a fortune. Don't let that opportunity slip away.